1. We're on. Okay, so let me come back up here. Okay, give me a second. Hi, everyone. I'm just coming to my page here to share with you guys. So can you see the screen on the right? That's where you see the number of viewers, and on the right side is a comment. And let me write on the screen here. Let's see. Healing journeys. Healing journeys of healers. Let's see, healing journeys. Share. I'm just like healing journey to share. Let me see. So now I'm just going to go to my page. Give me a slow down a little bit on the. Okay. So this is what you see, Vanessa, in the Polarity for Harmony. Okay, it's under way on it. I'm going to share it to your page first.
Yeah.
To a page. Select a page. Share to write a post. Vanessa. Vanessa. Okay. And then I'm just gonna. Okay, so I'm gonna share this to my group. Is that me watching there? I'm gonna do the Hay House. Did you find the post, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm sharing everything.
Okay, let me write in here. I'll do on my page. Hi there. Give me a second. Give us a few seconds to show up. And then this is also affecting a lot of women. I'm going to put it to okay. Hi, good morning. Thank you for joining us here. As you're watching, please make a comment below so I know who is on. Okay. Thank you for joining us here early on Thursday morning. I thought I'd do something special. Starting weekly, we're going to interview amazing people who overcoming serious conditions and just sharing their journey, how they did it with people. And my know me, my name is Leanwen. I'm an intuitive energy healer and specialize in relationship coaching. You can find me at polarityforharmony.com or find me on Facebook under Huian Energy Healer. And today I have Vanessa. So Vanessa, she's, let me give you a little background of Vanessa. She's an amazing medium. Vanessa is a founder of Intuitive Leverage. She has an 8-week intuition bootcamp that trains you to leverage your sensitivity in life and business. This Argentina American started doing reading at age 16, became a professional intuitive at 22, now guides conscious entrepreneur who truly wants to serve the world with their gifts. She has just released her 7-month online soul biz mastery, Awaking Soul Biz, Create Your Soul Aligned Success program with more than 10,000 psychic intuitive sessions and hundreds of students. Vanessa is a acclaimed psychic intuitive, clinical hypnotherapist, and international trainer. So you can find her at intuitiveleverage.com. So something that Vanessa was posting the other day, as a nurse, a formal registered nurse, I've worked with people with a lot of different conditions, and it's intrigued me. I was curious. I'm helping some people with also the same condition of hypothyroidism. How she overcame it naturally without any medication. And I reach out and say, hey, I'd love to interview you so you can share your thoughts with other viewers that may have known people, they themselves or other people with this, and can learn from what you've done. Let me see. So,
thank you so much for having me here today. It's so exciting. Hey, everyone.
So let's start with what was your health journey prior to your illness? And you said in 1916, how was ill health has been something that you deal with all your life?
No, actually, I've always been really, really healthy, very, very strong. I'm definitely somebody who, I always feel like I was born to do the work that I do because I can hold space for a lot of people. I can do a lot. As sensitive as I am, as intuitive as I am, I'm definitely someone who can do a lot, get a lot done, and not break down and heal quickly. Now, what I did find out, in 2003, I started to get very sick. So I was healthy most of my life, but in 2003, I started to get very sick, and I was doing a lot. I was working full-time in corporate. I was in school. I had 3 stepkids. I also had a part-time job. And so I was still going, though. I was like, Energizer Bunny, do. And I started to get really sick. So for all the people who are listening, if you're one of those go-getters, those people who give a lot, those people who are always on it, and suddenly something stops you, I hope that you're really listening and sharing this video. Maybe my journey can inform your path. And so what happened, Yuan, is that I started to get sicker and sicker. And one thing led to another, like bronchitis, then the flu and this and that, one thing after the other. And when I went to doctors, they just kept giving me antibiotics. And when I talked to the nurse, she said, oh, you have a virus. And I said, wait a minute, for a virus, you can't usually, back then, 14 years ago, give somebody antibiotics for this. She goes, I know, you're stacking viruses. So I was so miserable that at one point I told the doctor, I can't believe I've been sick for 3 months. And they could not find, they didn't understand. They're like, you're just sick. And they even said to me, you're depressed. You're getting depressed. Do you want a pill? This is for, Epstein-Barr, not thyroidism. That's later on. And I was like, no, I'm a lively, passionate, energetic person that's beginning to get sad and sick and maybe depressed because for 3 months I've been sick and no one can tell me. And it happened to be a healer who saw me in an elevator, Yuan, who said to me, he looked in my eyes. He went like this. He says, you have Epstein-Barr. Can you have them check it? And they went and they did and said, oh, you have it. But then that was it. In 2003, they're like, oh, you have Epstein-Barr. You had mono at some point. That's it. But one night, and this is going to inform, what I did for the hypothyroidism. I just sat down and I said, my God, what am I going to do? What is going on with my life? I'm an energetic person. And I started to make a list, Yuan, of all of the things that I really wanted and wanted to experience. I started to make a list of what was not working in my life. And then I made a list of what I needed to do. And so being healthy on my life and suddenly sick in 2003, because I was overworking myself, right? I made those lists and I swore to myself that I would accomplish them. And within a month, I had moved out my ex-boyfriend. I quit one of the jobs. I did all of the things that my soul told me to do. I also quit sugar at that time. I'm on it now, but I quit it at that time. It was over. I was doing too much sugar in order to keep going. I was drinking soda in order to be able to show up to class. I was trying to keep myself going because I felt my energy. So I stopped the soda. I stopped the extra sugar. I stopped the cookies. I started to eat green. I started to juice. And my body went back to normal. So very, very healthy, 2003 big shock. And then coming back from that and healing from it. So that, because you asked me how my health was before. So 2003, I had that experience. And then the rest of my life, pretty healthy also, before I got the diagnosis and went through the experience of having a slow thyroid.
Right. So what was the process of finding out this, especially in 2000, recent event here? What was the process with that? It was just like they just went in and did the test, or what was that like? What do you expect?
So what happened was that, 2012, I went through a lot of tremendous things that pushed me into having my own business. I got laid off the day before a huge surgery. This is 2012, so I'm going back a little bit. Had a car accident where I was guided, so thankfully I'm in one piece. I had a tremendous emotional breakup. I mean, basically everything that I trusted and believed in, except my connection to God and the universe, was like really shifted. And so 2013, I embarked on my business full time. Really with many years of training and many years of experience, but not prepared. It wasn't like I had so much money saved. It wasn't like I was with a coach. It wasn't like I had even a partner to split the bills of the home. So it was very stressful, and I made 6 figures that year, and I kept going. But what wound up happening from 2013 to 2016 was that, again, I started to push the envelope, because I just don't do one-on-one or just do group classes. I'm always speaking publicly in New York City. I get hired to go do retreats. So my month sometimes looks like go travel here, speak in Miami, come back, have the classes online. So in 2016, I enrolled in a spiritual organization. I was doing so much again. I forgot. And I started to feel sick. I started to feel night sweats. My hands and my feet were completely freezing. I started to even I was still sharp because mentally, it affects our mind and how we think, but there were still words that were elusive. I was like, wait a minute, what's that word that I use all the time? So I started to notice. And even at one point, I had to teach classes. My students did not know this. I shared this with them this year. I was teaching Akashic Record training that was a 12-hour training in one weekend, certifying people in Akashic Records, and teaching an 8-week intuition boot camp. And I sometimes would cry, just sob in my apartment or wherever I was, and just be like, oh my God, I don't think I have the strength. I don't think I could hold the energy for an hour and a half, for 6 hours or 12 hours. And then I would pray and cleanse, and I would show up. And my students would say to me, I never knew you were sick. You had so much energy. And I think that's spirit, right? But I started to really just not collapse, but I was so weak internally that I went and saw a doctor in May. It was a couple of days before I got on a plane to go teach in Costa Rica at a retreat. And the doctor said to me, and I went in, I did the blood work, but it was still a shock. Because I think we're all a little bit in denial, right? Like we know our body's saying something to us, but we're like, I don't want to hear it. I don't know what I'm okay. And literally he came back and he goes, you almost have a thyroid that's not working, he said to me. It's like, you're at zero almost, or, those are the words he used, but he meant that it was so slow that he said, you absolutely have to take medication. And I was so overwhelmed because my mom has that and she got it after a lot of stress. My sister got it also through a very traumatic situation and stress. And I was like, no, I don't want to be on medication the rest of my life.
So you weren't surprised at all? Were you surprised with this diagnosis, or was just
I wasn't surprised because of what I was going through. My hands were cold. And I also had chest congestion, which I did not know. I had chest congestion for 3 months. When I Googled the things you don't know about having a thyroid condition, right? One of them was that you get a chest cold or congestion that doesn't go away because your immune system is so low that it can't even recover.
Right.
So it really clicked. It clicked. I was like, oh, wow. Okay, this makes sense.
Yeah, I was reading some of being a nurse and some of the symptom I know with hypothyroidism, if people experience this, knowing that I'm not making any medical claims, but these are some of the symptoms of hypothyroidism are fatigue, weakness, weight gain, increased difficulty sometimes to lose weight, coarse, dry hair loss, or cold intolerance, easy to just like tolerate cold temperatures, like those are muscle cramps, constipation, depressions, irritability, memory loss you mentioned, especially for women, abnormal menstrual cycle, decreased libido is one of them. But yeah, the heart.
Thank God I didn't have that one. Thank God I didn't have a decreased libido, but I definitely had hair loss, and I had weight gain, and I couldn't lose weight. And, my boyfriend would watch me eat. He'd be like, I don't know. Hey.
Hi. No, and she hair loss. Okay, so good. So not good, but someone said they experience. So yeah, so now that you no longer deny, this is real, this is happening. So what step do you start taking after receiving diagnosis of hypothyroidism? What were you still in denial and isn't that happening to me, or what's going on?
No,
did you have realized you need to do something now?
Well, I felt bad because I'd made a promise. Yes, I had a lot of anxiety, Camelia. It's so much anxiety, and it's not usual for me because being somebody who has a very, profound spiritual practice, I've been through so many things in my life where I hand myself over to God, but this was really trying. I had to literally go to bed every night and say, I am loved, I am safe, I am protected, I am loved, I'm safe. I had to almost chant it like a mantra because of how sick I felt. So I hear you. So what happened was, I got I got the diagnosis, and Huan, and 2 days later I had to go to Costa Rica, and I didn't even want to go because I was like, I have to teach for 9 days, right? Wow. And I don't have the medicine, and I don't know if I want to I don't know what's going on. But I talked to a psychic who has many books out there, and she did a scan of my body, and she said, your pituitary and your pineal are totally your endocrine system. Like, I didn't tell her what I had. She goes, you are not good. She goes, but you sound good on the phone. I go, I know. That's just an ability I have to sound good even if I'm not. But she goes, you sound really good. She goes, I don't understand. But she goes, you're going to recover, right? That's all she could say there. And I got on the plane. And when I went to Costa Rica, and it's very hot there and there are a lot of bugs. It's beautiful, though. I was at Samasadi retreat teaching. I took a minute to really delve deeper. But when I came back and I wasn't teaching, I sat down and kind of did the same process, Huan, that I had done with my with Epstein, right? And also I do Akashic Records, so I went in and I talked to my guides. And I said, what is at the heart of this? What is at the heart of this? And I know you're an energy healer, and I've trained in that. So I literally saw my energy systems, and they were all being, like, there were so many cords. Like, it was tremendous. And beyond, I've never felt my clients or my students draining me. But what I got to the heart of was I wanted to know what was at the core. What could I shift? What belief could I shift? What pattern? What was I doing in my life that made me get drained, that made me get sick, that made me come to this point? And I just want to say for anybody who's watching that, illness and disease have a multi-dimensional, multi-layered reasons. We can't blame everything on one thing. Right. We can't blame it on one thing. Some people have it for many years. Some people get it suddenly. My guidance was that it was stress. And so when I started to look at the things, and I didn't want to look at them because I wanted to believe I could do all of this. I wanted to believe I could show my trainings and I could be with my guides and date and do this. And I was honest with myself. And the spiritual organization I was involved with asked a lot of me. And the 2 other circles that I did for charity, were volunteer. I was not getting paid. Were also taking a lot of me. I was showing up 150%. So I made an assessment of all the things that I needed to let go of. And I also came in, so it was a couple of organizations, it was a couple of people, and it was also the desire. I wanted, I picked up on a belief or a desire that some part of me thought I was alone, right? Even though I was walking hand in hand with the divine, and even though I had a great boyfriend, even though I had a good family and friends, there was a part of me that was crying because I thought, I'm alone in this by myself. in my own apartment, in my own place. So I started to release that and started to open my heart to the truth that I was loved by my parents, my friends, like that I was loved by the universe. And I let go of the organization. I let go of the 2 circles. I let go of the people that I was giving too much to, that were not clients or students. And I started to see an improvement. Then, so the energetic and the belief work was the first thing. And then what came from there was trying to sleep more, right? Because now I didn't have 14-hour trainings, right? I didn't have to go give all my time away. I started to sleep more. I did not take the medication. I don't recommend that to people because you can get very sick. I was guided by my guides not to take it. And slowly over the last 9 months, I just started to add more greens again. I started to cook my greens. I used to do a lot of kale and spinach that was raw. There's a lot of controversy over that. Whether if it's raw, it can make you sick and slow down your thyroid. So I started to cook it. I did my Reiki work every day. I really questioned myself when people asked me to go out or do things. Can I do it? Do I have enough energy? I upped my level of self-care. I added more massage again. And for people who are like, well, Vanessa, maybe I can't afford that all the time. Some of them were trades. I had massage therapists that wanted intuition, training. And I realize now, so I took the test now in February and it came back completely normal. To the point, Huan, that the doctor said to me, he didn't even talk about it. And I went, wait a minute. Last May.
Yeah, doctors are not trained anything else, but sorry, this is the only way. Here's medication to up the thing. They're just not part of the thing. Is their job is just to find disease and try to heal the disease, but they're not in a place to train and preventative. And you mentioned stress. Stress is pretty much is the core of every single startup disease. And that I know for the fact from healing myself, I can say. Or some people say, oh, you can't be cured from fibromyalgia. Okay, I am in remission from fibromyalgia and no more pain. So that I can say that. But stress is one of the core of it all. And then, you actually added more self-care back in. So self-care was lacking in your life. You were just overworking what you've been given. You just use up every single muscles and energy that you have. So that's why your body is screaming and yelling at you. So what did you learn about this process? What has it taught you about self-care and about you? What needs to...
Yeah, well, self-care was always a part. Like even when I was overworking, I would take my baths, I would do things, but it was just too much. So, what it taught me was, again, to listen to my guides, to listen to my inner world, my inner life, as I always do, because it's the work I do. And it also taught me, something that I tell my students and my clients all the time, there's a time to do what we need to do. We can't put things off. And sometimes, like you said, an illness is screaming at you. I say it gives you the middle finger. An illness is giving you the middle finger. But I do know that even if you're not meant to heal, some people are meant to live sometimes with something, right? And they wind up, at least this is what I believe. I've known people who passed away with cancer with such grace, right? That they inspired their whole community to live with more and appreciate their lives. So there are different reasons and levels to illnesses. But for me, what it taught me was that I cannot abuse my body, which I already knew. I cannot abuse my energy because I have tremendous energy. I do so much, but there's a level, there's a point. And I also learned that we all need to keep coming back and checking. And I lost touch of that checking in, like, well, what do I need to shift? What belief do I need to release? Because that is really important for us. Because sometimes people who are sick, it's a subconscious thing. That's the only way they got attention. Or sometimes people who are sick, it's a subconscious thing. They give too much and they're draining themselves, but this is what they were trained in. This is their culture as women, right? To give and give and give, be the caretaker. So I am just, I'm taking care of me first and not overextending myself.
Mm-hmm. So as an intuitive healer, we're not here to make medical claims, but so what can you share with people who are experiencing condition like this, or what they're going through? What can you share with them that you're managing right now, what you're doing right now, and how you deal with an illness?
I think first of all, get support. You know, I talked to my mom a lot, and I also talked to a couple of naturopaths. I didn't work with them at the time because because I was so sick, I was financially really stressed too at the same time. Get support, talk to people that you love, get the love that you need, you know, to get through this. Work with a healer. If you're not a healer, you are a healer, work with a healer. Because other people can sometimes see objectively what you're not seeing. And most of the time too, we have patterns that we're not aware of. Like, I've been so independent my whole life, especially 22 and on, supporting myself completely, etc. in New York City, that I knew that I was connected to God and my guides all the time, but I fell into a pattern of thinking, I have to do this for myself. I'm fighting, I'm struggling, I'm in the battle. And so check in with those things, because when you feel like you're in the battle, you're going to drain yourself with your beliefs. So get support, work with a healer. And also, we're all intuitive, as you know, Huan.
Yes.
Take a moment, go within and ask your inner self, ask your body, what do you want? Now, my body was screaming, I want time off and I don't want to work for 3 months. I couldn't give it that. You know, I couldn't do that. I didn't work at a day job where I could take a medical leave. I have my own business. But what I did do was give it pockets of time. I started to take, I'm going to take 3 days off. I'm going to take 2 days off. I started to go, okay, we can't stop working because we need to pay the bills, but negotiating and really asking, like, what does my body want? What do I need? If you're plugged into somebody loving you who isn't loving you right, if your self-love is plugged into receiving something from people, you need to unplug from that, because all those things drain you.
Great. So how do people get a hold of you if they like to learn a bit more, maybe just a connection for support?
Thank you. So if you'd like to get an MP3 to explore your intuitive style, or a little ebook that gives you 11 tips to connect your intuition, that would be vanessacadornu.com, and you can fill that out and you can receive it immediately. And if you're interested in exploring any sort of Akashic record reading session, we can do that. You can just write me at support@vanessacadornu.com. And you can find me on Facebook, Vanessa Cadornu, and on Instagram, Intuitive Evolution _V Cadornu. And, in Huan, I don't know how much time we have, but any other insights, I'd love to hear, your insights on the work that you do and how that affects, the people that you're working with, and how you're working with them as well.
Yeah, a lot of, I guess I've learned a lot from this gift of mine that came in. Of course, I call whether it's fibromyalgia, autoimmune disorder, MS, it doesn't matter. As your body's trying to, or your higher self is trying to get a hold of you, it was a gift, because that have taught me to slow down, pause, and knowing that I am. I had experience as I'm a registered nurse, I'm a healer, but I was not able to really heal myself. I was in pain a lot. Imagine giving birth 24 hours in a day. That's the experience that I was experiencing. A lot of people, fibromyalgia is such a broad, but stress was a big contributors. And when I start to go deep within there, and the work that I'm doing now was derived from pretty much the work to help myself in the process. It's doing all my energy healing. When your body's like that, what happened is your body's actually I discovered that is called chronic reverse energy. Your bodies go backwards, and when you are not aligned, they'll go backward. No matter what you try and do, it's just like counteract that. So I developed a process that correct that energy, and then helping people to go inside of those trapped emotions, those past feelings or past pain points that are not able to forgive, helping them to resolve that. A lot of them is buried, realize until I pinpoint that, I remember now, or they're part of the memory that was totally wiped out because it's too painful to look at. And part of the work I do is just help them kind of like uncovering that, it's just like me cleaning down that closet. Oh, I noticed there's a ring down here. I didn't know it was here before. You'll notice, or something that's ugly sitting down there. Oh, okay, we better get rid of it. So part of my work, I'm very gifted at just really seeing that. I have a lot of healers that are neglecting, whatever it is, but sometimes it's just that last drop of thing that will pull it over. If you were just like, maybe, even just stay back a little bit, you wouldn't have reached there, but you kind of reach and max out your threshold. That's why
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that it was also, being involved in a spiritual organization that demanded a lot of me energetically. So it was a lot. And I didn't share this. I forgot this, and I'm getting that. And I love your story because I think, we teach what we need to learn ourselves, right? And we help people with our own journey. I also use hypnosis a lot, and that's where I went in to release more of the beliefs and do all that. And so I think that we need to go beyond, if you need, and that's what you need. But we need to go beyond, and we need to also look at nutrition and look at support. And we need to look at energy. We need to look at our energy and even the process you've developed. Hypnosis,
yeah. Energy is big because we are all connected with, so we all wire. We are just vibrating energy. And spirit. People don't realize that, yep, this is a temporary body, but we are made of 99 plus of spirit and the soul of who we are. And when is that neglected? And part of my journey is going to that. It's just really go deeper within. And now, because I really overcame healing my relationship as well, I was at those of going through divorce and just very painful, but I was able to correct and reverse that. And I can help a lot of people who are just had it, they got it there. But yes, there's a way that you can turn that around. And it may take two people to get married, but it can take just one of you to make a difference to help you shift that.
Beautiful. Yeah. And I have to say, the gift, there was a great gift in this journey as well. That's when I was dating somebody that now I live with, and I moved out of New York. And even being in a loving relationship has been so healing for me, right? Because you're getting the love, you're getting the support, it's release of stress. So even when I was sick, I was actually dating somebody, and he, stayed with me. He didn't really know how bad I was, actually. I was like, oh, I don't have it anymore, but let me tell you, I was going crazy. He's like, really? You seemed, and it's been a wonderful thing because a good loving relationship will improve your immune system, your relaxation, stress. So
when people are in the love that they want, obviously there's a block there. What I learned is there's always a block to whether it's relationship or health or abundance. There's a block there that could be released through energy healing, through deep meditation. There's yes, we can do this ourselves, but sometimes getting that extra support can speed up the process much faster. I know there's an energy healer that comes to me, and then I don't hold back. I say, you need to take care. I pinpoint what they were going. Some of the part was self-care, and they know it's like kind of bright red on their face, and their cheeks are all red. And they know. And for another person to point that out and to steer them back into the right direction. And half the time there is the universe is saying, hey, that's not this. It kind of like slow you down in a way to speed you up, because probably sometimes that's maybe not the path you are traveling. That's why disease come about. That's what I experienced. So I had different scattered in all direction as well, and I was full of energy. And for me, just not to, they call me powerhouse as a teenager. That's my name there. You can imagine what it's like if I'm not pretty much, using 200% of me. So I'm like always function 200% of people my age. Not that something's wrong. So I'm comparing me to me. So yeah, questions that will wrap this up for us. You can write a comment down. If you're watching this, go back to Hui An Energy Healer. So that's where you can make the comment. I know that Camellia, Christina, I also have 5 days sleep, 12 hours. That did not keep me awake. Okay, so Christina, anxiety. So Christine, you made a comment on here. So let me give you a little insight on that. So thanks for commenting. I know you're watching and these people are not commenting, but as a gift for you to comment, I can give you a little gift with that coming from of the anxiety. So that can help you go back there as well. So reach out, either both of us. So this is going back to that 16-year-old self. So if you can go back to there and send her loving light and release that trapped emotion there, you can see the situation yourself very clearly. So this is one of that back to there as well. Like I said, it just doesn't come overnight. It's multiple stressors that you experience and emotions that you kept and hold on to and not letting go. And that's one of them, obviously, that finally just take a hold of you. And then, yeah, any final thought, Vanessa, before we wrap up?
No, well, yes. The message I really want to give everyone is not to fall into helplessness and hopelessness. That, when you're told that you have an illness or a disease or some situation, it's not, I don't think it's a final sentence. I don't think that you're locked in. I think that it's an opportunity and a portal for us to open up and invite more of our soul in. And I know that was for me, to invite more of my soul in, to show up more for myself, and to release what just didn't work for me anymore, with no excuses.
So right. So Lorna, I guess, okay. So I felt yours was from a relationship. That was the first word that came in, unhealthy relationship. And that was the first word that came in, and I can... So that's is it? Yeah, okay, blessing, thank you. So yeah, go back to that relationship and you can just reevaluate that relationship as well. So that's a message I have for you. So they're like multitude, like for me was multiple car accidents, stress, overworked, not just taking care of myself. Is a multiple thing, and it's just that tipping point just to have that double whammy of 2 car accident back to back. So then that kind of stir things up more. So so it's all different. I know some people but stress is the huge core of it. And I go back to that, like I get self-centered, self-love again. So when there is pain, there's not loved. So that's okay. I'm no longer in the relationship though.
The energy there.
Even though you're no longer in that relationship, I can give you my forgiveness meditation. Start forgiving that part of you there. Even though you thought you are, okay, I'm got you physical. Yes, that's the physical part, but energetically, spiritually connecting, and that pain point still there. So start taking responsibility. That's the first part. Own everything. I'm responsible for everything that's come to me. I'm totally responsible. So let go of the blame game. That's the words that's coming through me right now. So start with the responsibility with that. So even though, physically, we can be signed off the paper and okay, I'm done with that relationship. I moved on. But there's a part of the energetic cord that's still connecting with that. So that's as far as the energetic work I can say to that. But once that realization have been realized and forgiveness and truly owning up everything for the failure of the relationship, that will start to shift.
And I wanted to say something too. We tend to hate our illness or dislike our illness. Mm-hmm. The thing is, if we can love it, like my hypothyroidism was trying to slow me down because I was trying to do too much. If I just said, thank you, I'm going to slow it down. I will slow down my own life. So I'm excited for Lorna, though. I think you've helped her shift that.
Yeah. So it's the same thing. I think we are so much into don't associate. I mean, I think, oh my God, this just came up so quickly. I was at I was just a field trip. Broke her hands, and someone asked her name, and she associated, I am Sam. I was like, why you associate yourself with a broken wrist? But I was so surprised, even as young age, you associate with a disease. You are not it. but appreciate it. And I think not to scare from it and face it. And you have the guidance from within there. So yeah, I have going on right now, though if you need some more deeper insight, you can connect either one of us there as well for the energetic shift that needs to be healed on a deeper level. And then Lorna, thank you. Okay, wow. Yeah, sometime 8 years. I've seen people that are in the 60 or, back into the, I have somebody that I help who is another energy healer that came and is like, why am I having this block? And I pinpoint an incident for her and it's like blow her mind. Something when she was 15 years old. She's like 40 now. But when she released that, holy cow, next month, she's like pretty much literally after the session, she was just attracting all this client that she was like blocking off. So it's not necessarily just a physical, but it's also going to the financial and the spiritual side to it. There's so many facets of who we are. It's not just the physical. That's just an easy attention grabber, I think. Pain is an easy attention grabber to grab ourselves. That's what I believe. Just to stop. I read the body. Every part of pain in your body, I can tell you where they are and what they come from. They all have a source to the emotion that relate to it. And I'm become such a metaphysical. Your body, every part of your body tells you, from your voice, your throat, to everything just relating to what's going on. And I can read in that sense like a book instead of, the diagnosis, etc. I read in that sense there, go to metaphysically what your body's telling you. And physical is easiest, I guess. One of the easiest to grab a hold because we associate our body to this. We associate ourselves with this body. Yes, I'm in this hole right now. I have black hair and I'm Asian and Vanessa is this. We associate ourselves with this is just temporary, knowing that. But it's easy for us to associate with it. Pain we can recognize. And it's a way for us to, of our higher self, just to grab and hold our attention. And just like, whether you fall and trip and walk and flip, whatever it is, it's just an attention grabber. And it's the only way that we can communicate, especially we are so busy, we can't hear our guides, we can't see, we don't hear that voice anymore. That intuition just totally out the window. And that last bit is say, okay, sway, scream, stop. So that's why I was gifted with, but I never associate with that, but I just did what it takes, I knew it's not normal just to be happy. After a car injury, you should be pain-free for a while, but not on and on and on. So anyway, and thank you for, remember, we are not our body. We are. Okay, any other thought? Otherwise, we're going to wrap it up here. And thank you so much for all of you that coming on. I'm going to try and interview a healer, entrepreneurs who overcome physical obstacle, because we often associate our body that could help you. Even this reach 1, 2, or 2 person experiences, and you can take on that information and start to look inside and heal you. And I've done my job. And I appreciate each and every one of you to show up today. And I can put Vanessa, well, you need to get a hold of her. And thank you so much for showing up. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, for doing this. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Vanessa.